Hello, hello. Welcome back to more Pokemon Ultra Sun. Sorry about the lack of uploads. I've been a little bit busy. Not so much on this game. Well, a little bit on this game. I'll get to that in just a sec, though. Been playing a bit of Pokemon Scarlet. Trying to get the item printer thing to be maxed out because I never got that out of the way maxed out. Forgot to actually do that. And to actually use any of the duplication glitches, you got to actually have it maxed out. So that's kind of my bad. I'll have to re-swing in those arms. Bruh. Okay, well, I'm actually low-key kind of terrified. Yeah, first things first, I did a little bit of a... She's gonna chase after me. I did a little bit of changing up of things. First off, I have a new layout. Ta-da! I just made the screen bigger. I don't know why I didn't bother doing this from the beginning. I've actually got kind of complaints on previous videos before about how there's too much empty space on the screen when I'm recording videos, and it kind of can lead to like burn-in and stuff. Never really noticed that until I started realizing I'm actually creating burn-in where OBS is. It's not the same kind of burn-in, and it's not for the same reason, but even still, I just changed it up to make it a little more aesthetically pleasing, I guess. Don't really need to have a logo on the screen when logo's kind of not really doing anything as it is. But yeah, this is the screen layout I decided to go with. I think it's also going to be kind of useful for any future 3DS or DS games that I play. But also looks better just for this game alone. I got sidetracked trying to spend a bunch of money because I got like over $1 million and wanted to see what I could spend money on. Went and picked up a few TMs and got sidetracked even further when I went to the Mega Mart to see what else I could spend money on. I ended up spending a whole bunch of the money that I ended up picking up from selling off all the big nuggets. Bought a whole bunch of TMs. Bought everything that I could. Just wanted to spend a whole bunch of money to see how low I could drop it. And even after spending on a whole bunch of potions and repels as well, I still didn't even drop below $1 million. I'm kind of rich. I was looking around to try to find places to actually spend money. Forgot about this dude. He told me to come back after I became champion. And so now that I'm champion, well, hello, I'm here. Apparently he's Kagetora, the Eevee user. And then he tells me his entire life story about how he got married, had a child, how he's got a mortgage. He's an adult, basically. That's nice. I don't know why you told me to talk to you, other than having to be an ear to rant to. But I guess there's a bunch of trainers that he was friends with when he was a kid. So he wants us to go find all of them and try to fight them and beat them up. Easy enough. I guess all Pokemon that evolve from Eevee, so that should be relatively easy. He also says that if we need to figure out where anybody is, just to ask him. I don't know why he doesn't just tell me outright. I have to actually talk to him again. So hello, I'm here again. Please tell me information. Where do I go? There's a lot of people to go fight. Vaporeon user Polly, the water whirlpool of Lola, a bikini-clad beauty. Apparently she lives on Mele Mele Island and is a teacher. Well, that's pretty obvious where I can go find her. It's been 30 years since you saw her, so let's go find somebody that you haven't seen for 30 years. Not exactly a bikini-clad person, but hey, something about 30 years, I'll fight you. Sure, why not? The Kahuna of the Trainer School. Unfortunately, though, I don't really think he's the person I'm supposed to fight because he doesn't even have a Vaporeon. He has 2 random fighting types. But he does move aside, so I'm thinking, hey, that means I probably have to go inside and fight the person that's a Vaporeon user. Hey, that's somebody that could possibly potentially be a bikini-clad somebody 30 years ago, maybe? Are you the Vaporeon user? Turns out, no. She's just the principal. It's cool that I got a fighter after beating the game, but... well, at least I get a King's Rock out of it. Don't really know why these guys are even here. I ended up talking to her after the fight, and she's talking about how if she can beat me, then cool. I mean, she beat the champion. If not, then hey, at least the school got to raise a champion, and then she can boast and probably make a bunch of money off of it. Don't exactly know how I feel about this. I didn't say anything. You didn't catch me talking out loud to anybody. Apparently, I ended up walking past the Vaporeon user as I walked up the stairs. I don't know how I missed her. Are you the Vaporeon user? She's an old lady. She has a tough Pokemon, relatively easy to beat. Couple Thunderbolts took care of Vaporeon pretty easily. Wait to go talk to him again. Doesn't say anything really special, but I do need to get information on everybody else, so... Flareon first, I guess. Chad the Flareon user. Apparently with a hot temper. Apparently at the Tai Song Hotel, it's been 30 years, etc, etc. The Jolteon user... Jane the Jolteon user, he doesn't actually give us any information whatsoever about this person. She was working somewhere on Ula Ula. That doesn't tell me anything. She was apparently last seen on an island. Thanks. So was everybody else in this game. Espeon user Ishan. Apparently he's working at the geothermal plant. It's been 30 years, etc. Well, the only person that's been added into this area is this guy, so obviously it must be him. He is the Flareon user. You know, Kagatora. Not really. He just told me to come fight you and not get out, I guess. Don't know why I'm doing this. Don't get a lot of money from him. This guy's blocking the view of all the children. They're trying to watch TV. I don't know why he's sitting right there in the front row. But this is Ishan. Just an old man. And still worth knocking him out, though. Went to go talk to this guy one more time. I only got to know where everybody else is, but I wanted to make sure I read this correctly for Jolteon. Last I heard, she was working somewhere on Ula Ula Island. I don't know why he couldn't give me any more further information, but I ended up just looking up a thing online to figure out where I was supposed to go talk to this person. Because I was curious, and that doesn't really tell me anything. The Umbreon user, however, Brayden, he's apparently somebody who's a zombie, I guess. I don't understand. He's a terrifying person, but he lives in the cemetery or something. I've been there. 30 years, something or other. And also Rhea, the Glaceon user. Soul of Ice, even time froze around Glaceon. From a small village on Melee Melee. Well, there's only really one village on Melee Melee. I know where that's at. That's where I go first. And yeah, there's somebody that's been added in. I know that there's only supposed to be one person here, so I ended up talking to the wrong person to start with. But she's new. Friends with the Kagatori. People just assume I'm his friend. All these old people think so highly of me as a small child, apparently. And this old guy staring at his probably future grave. The Umbreon user doesn't really look like much of a zombie. He just looks like an old man, like everybody else here. Like I said, I had to look up where I'm supposed to go because I got so lost I ended up trying to talk to a Corsola for directions. Didn't really help me. Did find out where I was supposed to go though. The community center on Ula Ula Island. Not really working there, but I found her. The Jolteon user. She doesn't apparently remember Kagatora. Dementia is a bitch. So is getting no code by an earthquake in Pokemon Battle because you use a frail Jolteon. Couple more to go. Just Leafeon and Sylveon left. Linnea is apparently a model. Staying at the Rhino Grand Resort. It's been 30 years, apparently. Like everybody else. And the Sylveon user. The Queen of Fairy Pokemon, Sakura. She was apparently living on the she was a descendant of the nomadic sea folk, which, I mean, that's the, well, sea folk village. First person that's not actually, well, appearing old, so this one actually kind of took a little while to find. I ended up walking past her like 3 times. But she's pretty easy to beat. I think she's supposed to be old and she just uses makeup to look young. By the way, this is a terrifying scene to walk into a place and then see a child that's not supposed to be there. I don't know what it is. That was just actually terrifying to see. I guess the Sakura person died a while ago. So this is her grandchild, and she's watching over Sylveon. Grandma died last year, apparently. But it's a Sylveon. It's pretty easy to beat. Hooray. But that is everybody. I gotta say, talking to this dude every single time I come to this place, it was actually kind of annoying. If you guys ever had any useful items, maybe I'd actually use your damn coupon. But yes, I have taken care of everybody. You beat them all. Time truly is cruel to us all. It's kind of dark. And then he wants to battle us himself. Well, he's Kagetora, the Eevee user, so he's clearly just got a single Eevee. Eevee isn't really known to be much of a powerhouse until the next games that come out after this, so... yeah, not even stab. Kinda sad. I actually almost feel sorry for Eevee, but he does give us Evium Z, which is an item that will probably get my entire channel deleted off of YouTube if I was to ever show a clip using it, so I won't. Also, my Eevee already evolved into Leafeon and doesn't have Last Resort, so it doesn't really do me any good anyway. Also, the bottom screen was a little bit larger in that first, and yes, first, I have another one, give me a second. That first time-lapse video time cut thing. I didn't realize that I was kind of blocking up some text, so I kind of lowered the size of the bottom screen so I wasn't blocking up so much of the text and option boxes and stuff. But I also went to try to go get the other 2 Ultra Bees, because I don't have Cortana, I don't have Guzzlord, and it's not only a pain in the butt to try to find the right white wormhole, but if you do get a white wormhole, you're sometimes taken to a different place and you don't really want to be there. That whole Ultra Warp Red thing, it's kind of fun, low-key, but it's also a pain in the butt, low-key, because it's a lot of time going into just not getting what you want. Although there's a few instances where I got, you know, something besides just a wild Abomasnow or Quagsire. Doesn't really seem to matter if I'm going into a double spiral thing. I just find Abomasnow. Or if I hit an obstacle and I get forced into a tier 1, I just find a Goober. Sometimes, though, I do come across something actually useful. This is a different message than I'm used to seeing. Exudes its overwhelming power. Yes, you bet your ass I saved immediately. I am terrified. Kind of see it up on top of the cliff there. It's clearly a Pokemon of myth. It is Dialga. It's not great, but it's not terrible. Definitely gonna try to catch it. Immediately ambushed. The problem with this Pokemon, though, is that it does, in fact, resist Steel types. I do try to go for a Sword Stance to hopefully bolster my attack a bit, and, well, Roar of Time is quite brutal. I survived, though, and I know that it has to recharge, so I try to take advantage of that and try to go for 2 False Swipes before I inevitably just die. Kind of I might die to a resisted move. But I do have an Edgelord. I can also resist. Roar of Time again, because it's probably its highest damage output, and it does in fact do quite a bit, even in defense position. But I just spam a whole bunch of False Swipes, and I mean a whole bunch of False Swipes. Taking advantage of the recharging turns and having to King Shield every so often, I do manage to bring it all the way down to 1. Got it paralyzed, because it's the only way you can ever catch anything in this game. And I toss a lot, and I mean a lot, a whole bunch of balls to try to catch this stupid thing, but eventually I do end up catching it. Absolutely stubborn. And I was trying to actually go as far as I could, and the game was not very polite to me. I tried to get towards the little orange orb and can't quite get there, and end up getting sucked into a tier 1, rarity 1 wormhole. Didn't even have any rings on it or anything, but apparently there's something here. Another new message. Immediately saved. I'm going to go check it out. Don't recognize the silhouette. But I do recognize the cry. That's Latios. Saved again, obviously. Walked forward just to get ambushed, as I do. Shouldn't be too difficult. Immediately parried. And then drop down, and just to remind me that there's other problems I should probably be worrying about, I King Shield just to play it safe, and, well, Latios has a different idea in mind. Psycho Shift. I can't just paralyze it, because it can remove its own paralysis and put it onto me, but I was actually pretty quick at thinking of a strategy to get around this. I just used a Max Revive. Recovered up Dart. I tried to Psycho Shift again. Doesn't mean much, but I can switch back into Dart. Paralyze it. You can't use Psycho Shift because I'm an electric type, so I'm relatively safe here. That kind of hurt. All I gotta do is just land my move. Shouldn't be too difficult. It is Thunder Wave. It is 90 accuracy. But of course it's me playing this game, so I'm gonna miss it. Survived another Dragon Breath with no special defense, just to land my Thunder Wave. I hope it was worth it. Toss a ball. Hopefully you can cooperate. Doesn't really matter if you break out, because if you try to Psycho Shift, I'm electric type, so you can't do anything about it. You didn't listen to me. It also doesn't really matter if you knock me out, because I can just switch into my Edgelord, and it's paralyzed, so you still can't Psycho Shift. So if you would just cooperate and be polite and stay in the ball. Like I said, you can't do anything to me. I kind of have you cornered. Just accept your fate. Yeah, that's what I thought. And the thing is, Dialga's actually not too bad. It's modest nature, which is kind of decent. Especially considering a lot of times you want to use this on a Trick Room team, so you don't want to have, like, too much speed investment. So modest is actually pretty decent here. Latios, kind of the opposite. It's supposed to be a special attacker with a lot of speed, and it doesn't have any speed investment, and its special attack is nuked all to hell. I guess I could run a physical set, but why? But I'm currently at the battle tree. Swapped my Pokemon around a little bit. Also, I think zooming in to this is going to be a little bit easier and cleaner than having to zoom in when I have the weird split screen. I have a Xurkitree on the team. Also Tapu Fini. I want to take on the double thing. Doubles format, I guess, for the battle tree. I want to see how far I can go. At least I want to fight blue. And this is the team I want to go with. For electric type, I want to have one that's actually faster. It's holding Fairy Z. And it changed up the moves a little bit. I didn't give it any EVs or anything, so it's literally fresh from the box, taught it some moves, and here it is on the team. Still level 60. It'll get dropped down to level 50, I believe, if I go for the super double battle thing. But it has Thunder Wave for a little bit of speed control. Full Switch for pivoting. Discharge to hit everything on the field because it can do damage. Also Dazzling Gleam, so I can hit everything on the other side of the field. Tapu Fini. Nature's Madness is pretty decent. It's Misty Surge with Misty Seed, so it's going to get a bit of a special defense boost, which is pretty nice when it's already plus special defense nature. The minus special attack nature, though, is kind of a pain, so I'm not really running too many attacks. I have Calm Mind to help bolster that a little bit, also, again, boosting special defense. Taunt to prevent the opponents from doing anything obnoxious, because they probably will. And Dazzling Gleam, so I have an attack, and I'm not just immediately stopped and nerfed by taunt. Red card to help proc on Burden. I'm not sure how well that's going to be of any use, but I do have Swords Dance, which is going to be nice, hopefully. I can hopefully set that up while they try to attack Child. If I survive, then they get swapped out. I proc on Burden. I'm now +2/+2. I'm good to go. Got Poison Jab Arc on it. And also got Shadow Claw back on my Edgelord. Thirster Grass also has Swords Dance, so it's got that going for it, I guess. It's not great. I also checked speed tiers, and having Swagger with the Person Berry or Lumberry to proc and burden on Cha is not really going to work because Cha would actually still be faster. Unfortunately. And then Miss Sandy for some chip damage and also powerful Earthquakes. A little bit more speed control. The usual. But that's going to be my team for this. I was going to see if I could probably still use Primarina, but I don't really think it's going to do so great when my entire team is relatively slow. Same reason why I'm not using Dart on the team, because it's also kind of slow. They hit hard, I need a little bit of speed. So hopefully this is going to be decent. And of course I'm not going to show every single fight, because that's, well, I don't really have time to make a 7-hour long video. Wouldn't mind. Oh, thanks for the free rare candy, I guess. What is happening? I'm getting free items, I'm not complaining though. But I'm going to show anything that's actually worthwhile showing. If I'm correct, there should actually be some like special trainers every so often, so I'll probably show those. Okay, so it looks like I still need to unlock the super doubles. I can do the regular doubles, so I'm going to probably just blitz through all these. And then I can try the super. And of course I get knocked out by like round 6. I actually saved a video on this one. As if I needed any more proof that the game hates me. This, I think, takes it a few steps further. Battle against Punk Girl Ava starts off pretty simple, just Gengar and Gastrodon. Not really anything too threatening. Again, the game doesn't really cap my levels, so I'm several levels higher. Seems like I kind of have this in the bag. I can just Shadow Sneak the Gengar. Again, I can just knock it out. Of course, like most Gengars, it's holding a Focus Sash, so this doesn't actually knock it out. And from here, it all goes downhill. I take care of Gastrodon pretty quickly. Don't need to bother setting up any Swords Dances. But Shadow Ball, sadly, immediately decimates Edgelord. My bad, accidentally pushed B there. Hopefully I can make that still a clean edit. I send in Tapu Fini, just in case something here has Toxic, and, well, there's a Crobat, so I figure this is probably a good idea. Even though I'm facing 2 poison types, as a fairy type. But in case you have, like, Venoshock or something, I get a special defense boost. That'll be useful. I get a little bit cocky, go for a Swords Dance, thinking I could, well, set up a little bit. And sure enough, cross poison into the fairy type. Doesn't do half health, thankfully. But Gengar lands a raw Hypnosis. Not entirely sure how that was able to happen, but okay. I have Misty Surge up. Go for a Calm Mind. Double setup moves. Cha, of course, has to take a mandatory turn of sleep. Cross poison again. And unfortunately, it's a crit. So I don't get to have my Dazzling Gleam. Which means that Gengar is now free to go for the super effective Dream Eater and get some health back. And do some significant chip into me. Not happy about that. I'm already down 2 Pokemon. But red card does proc, so I now have Unburden at least. And here's the obnoxious pain in the butt, Umbreon. I do have Circuitry. I have Discharge, which would probably knock me out, so I won't bother with it just yet. I'm still asleep, sadly, and Cross Poison does a little more than I was hoping it was going to do. But Volt Switch does take out the Crobat, thankfully. Do get the Beast Boost, which is kind of nice. And Payback doesn't really do too much, but it does drop me kind of low. Back out into Gengar. And once again, I don't have any EVs invested into my Pokemon, so thankfully I'm still asleep. I guess I get to just sit here and not do anything and leave Umbreon still on the field while I get taken out by a Shadow Ball because I have no speed. Umbreon tries to set up a little bit more. I'm +2, so I'm not really that concerned. I'm more concerned about the hypnosising, Dream Eatering Gengar that's standing in front of me, even though none of my moves can really touch it. I do wake up. I go for the quad resist poison jab at +2. Several levels higher, I do also get a crit. You have no defenses. I don't know how much of that really mattered. But Confuse Ray. All I have to do is just land a flying press. It's literally all I have to do. I'm confused. I smack myself. Umbreon gets cocky and sets up once again. Now at +2 defenses, so I don't know if Flying Press can even knock it out at this point. I do resist any payback or foul play or whatever you want to go for, so there's that, but I don't know how much of that's going to be useful. Can I break through? No, of course I can't. I really hate this game. As much as it hates me. Thankfully, the next 19 were a lot smoother. Wonder how many BP I actually have now. Against number 20, against the Battle Legend. Let's go. Hey, there he is. Let's have a battle, first champion of Lola. Unfortunately, you're still level 50, so this shouldn't be too difficult. In theory. It takes hella a lot of bad luck for me to lose one of these, so... Leading off with Intimidate. Don't think I'm actually that worried. I'm 32 levels higher than you. I think I'm actually just fine. I'm just gonna Flying Press this thing. Shadow Claw Gyarados. Why not? You actually survived. Twister. I mean, sure, Flinch Chant, I guess. Crits my Cha, thanks for that. Shadow Claw to do some good damage. Probably not a knockout. Close, though. Flying Press takes care of Pidgeot. Shadow Sneak takes care of Gyarados. Easy. So glad I didn't miss Flying Press. 95 accurate move, but I've missed that more than I've missed Stone Edge. I just want to point that out. Arcanine, more Intimidate, great. And Executor. I can Shadow Claw that one. No Intimidate, interesting. I think I'm actually just fine to Swords Dance then. And hell, you probably died to just Shadow Sneak, so I'll just do that because I might as well. Maybe you die. I am intimidated. Okay, you got close. What is this? Oh, Patea. I'm a little bit concerned. It's a psychic right at Hawlucha's face. Okay, I see. Boosted its speed. Z Sunny Day. So now you have Chlorophyll. I still have a priority move, so I'm not that worried. And you used it to set up a screen. Okay, well, I have 2 physical attackers on the field, so that didn't really get you anywhere. Flying Press, you. Shadow Sneak, you. None of that Chlorophyll, get out of here. Not really too much to brag about, because again, I'm 32 levels higher. Burn Up was in this game? Interesting. That's fine, Edgelord did his job. You died to Flying Press now. Assuming it lands. Okay, good. Nice. Yeah, I guess I gotta go back into this and try to fight blue again with a proper team. That's actually level capped where it's supposed to be. I expect to struggle. Another 20. Still probably can't afford anything. So even though I have a full team of 6 here, I'm only allowed to pick 4 of them. I'm actually usually kind of just leaving Xerxagrass and Miss Andy behind, because I don't really need them all that much. For the most part, my 2 attackers are Edgelord and Cha, Circuitry is there just in case I need some nice burst damage. Electric coverage is kind of nice in general. Plus, being able to paralyze things if I need to. And the Tapu Fini is purely only there to be able to set up the terrain. I swapped the items around, so now Misty Seed is on Cha and Red Card is on Tapu Fini. If I expect an attack, I can swap into Tapu Fini, get the opponent to swap out. Setting in Tapu Fini, setting up the terrain, gets the Unburden activated. Also, I thought earlier, for some reason, I was getting paralyzed and confused, whatever, during terrain. I forgot you're a flying type. I should know that because Flying Press does flying and fighting type. I just forget that, yeah, you are also a flying type. It's kind of weird because you're always standing on the ground. To be fair, it always throws me off that you can get the seed from the terrain, but you're not actually affected by the terrain. I don't really get how that mechanic actually works, but okay. But yeah, these are the 4 that I generally bring. Just leave these 2 in the lead because, well, they're nice to have. I can't really touch ghost types very well with Cha. They either are immune or resist my 3 main attacking moves, and Edgelord can take care of them quite nicely. Okay, so I've made even more changes. And actually, I think now's a decent time where I can use this thing. Hey. So I changed up. Instead of using Tapu Fini, I'm going to try to use Tapu Lele, holding choice specs, and as a result, I also swapped over to a Psychic Seed. To get the Psychic Seed in this game, it's actually kind of annoying. You gotta catch Pokemon and evolve them. Not fun. But yeah, now I have the Psychic Seed. Actually, I guess it's probably still easier just to edit in a larger screen anyway. Because I gotta go back to this smaller screen to show this thing. I taught Rock Slide to Cha, just so that way I can get a little bit of spread damage. Also, Poison isn't exactly the greatest in terms of offensive coverage. It really only covers my Fairy weakness. It doesn't really cover my Psychic weakness or anything. Neither does Rock Slide, but I get the chance to flinch, which is nice. Also, I'm, again, attacking both sides of the field, so that's going to also hopefully be useful. Tapu Lele holding choice specs. Spent some BP on getting the choice specs. Thunder isn't really known for being accurate. 70 accuracy. But it could come in useful. Also, if I'm going up against any rain teams or anything. I don't know if the game really designed weather-based teams or anything, but that could also be useful. As long as I'm not going up against any sun teams. Psychic on Psychic terrain is just OP. Dazzling Gleam to hit both sides of the field. And it's stab coverage, which is nice. Also Moonblast if I want to delete something. Circuitry doesn't have anything different. Edgelord, I've been kind of going back and forth on teaching Brutal Swing, because I have the TM for that, to Circuitry. And then having Edgelord hold the weakness policy, because that can actually be kind of useful. If I King Shield, and then or if I'm just in defense position, whatever, and I use Brutal Swing, I take hardly any damage, and then I get a proc the weakness policy. I was trying to find a way to get that onto Cha, but because that would kill 2 birds, 1 stone. I would get my Solar Stand set up, and I'd have Unburden procced. The thing I'm running into, and I keep forgetting, is that dynamic speed is not a thing in this game. Everything else about these games is relatively modern to current gen standards, but dynamic speed, it doesn't exist until Gen 8. So I keep wanting to swap into my terrain setter to proc the Psychic Seed to get my Unburden, but Unburden doesn't really take effect until the next turn. So if there's something faster on the field and I swap in to proc the Psychic Seed and get Unburden, I could still be going second. I keep forgetting about that. So because of that, hopefully to kind of mitigate my own stupidity a little bit, good luck with that, I decided to have a terrain setter that can actually do some actual damage. I still haven't invested in anything, but I figured that, hey, being a plus speed nature might help a little bit. Actually, 151 speed at level 60 is not terrible. It's very obviously uninvested, but it's not actually terrible. And then special attack being as high as it is, plus choice specs, plus terrain, I'm gonna actually get some actual damage out of Psychic, hopefully. Psychic is pretty decent neutral coverage. It's one of the reasons why I was so OP back in Gen 1. Why be uninvested when I can just pay for investment? I think it's investment well spent. This is actually the furthest that I've gotten so far. These are actually kind of difficult. Like I said, I'm gonna struggle. I'm only on battle number 8. Oh god. Oh, hello. You're battle number 10. Being here somehow makes me nostalgic. I remember those days. Yeah, imagine. It's like you were the salon maiden of a battle tower or something. That's kind of neat. She did say that she was on her way to the battle tree. Sure enough. She's not messing around. Okay. Not exactly the greatest lead here. I'm gonna just Shadow Claw Latios. Raikou is probably faster. I think I'll just hard swap. Go into Circuitry. I can smell the Thunderbolt. I didn't smell that though. Kinda stinky. Of course. That's still so much damage. And Dragon Dance. I am so glad I'm going for the Shadow Claw. Hopefully that's a lot of damage. Please let it be a lot of damage. At least within Shadow Sneak range. Ah, yes. Nice Mega. So glad I got to see it in action. And Entei. Okay, well, I'm a little bit terrified. I should be able to just King Shield here. And I think I want to... Not sure if I want to Volt Switch Entei or if I want to Thunder Wave Entei. Or Twinkle whatever the hell on Raikou. I think I'll do that actually. That one's, I think, the bigger threat. I feel like it has like Thunder Wave or something. I'm not super concerned about like Will-O-Wisp. Only half my team is concerned about it. Shadow Ball, hello. And Overheat. They really don't like my Edgelord. Big mistake. Also, I'm going to leave this animation in because what the hell even is this animation? It is the jankiest, goofiest. They couldn't be bothered to animate anything, so they just make something wiggle back and forth. What is this? Bruh. That's actually some decent damage. Don't think you're quite within Shadow Sneak range. I'll try it though. And Volt Switch Entei. Just about. I'm upset. That hurts. And Overheat, of course, knocks me out. Oh, okay. It knocks out Circuitry, though. I think, okay with this. Because I should just be able to send in Tapu. Do I lock onto D-Gleam? I don't think I need to. I think I can just lock onto Psychic, actually. Because you are now for sure within Shadow Sneak range. And this is a lot of damage. Oh, duh, right. I think I will remember that. I'm not punished too much, though, because now I can just go straight into Cha, take advantage of the Psychic terrain. Goodbye. Oh, what? Bruh. Why would Entei hold a Focus Sash? Okay, well. I asked that, but it's clearly for situations like this where I can just nuke something. D-Gleam would be very nice right about now. But it's fine, I have Rock Slide. And Psychic into nothing. Are you kidding me? Double miss? Bruh. I hate this game. I hate this game. I actually really hate this game. This better double connect this time. Good. But now I'm facing one less Pokemon and I only have like, what, 3 HP? And it's the Lucario. Well, I do have flank press at least. I am faster than you. You probably have bullet punch. Wait, no, psychic train. Okay. That should be fine. Wait, no, I'm flying type. No! I'm gonna cry. She boxed me. Try this again. Not fighting Annabelle this time. Get away. Hello. I'll fully display the vaunted, whatever that means, dancing of my Pokemon. You do that. Gotta say, these kind of ramp up from like 0 to 100 pretty quickly. They go from facing a weakness policy or Choreo to fighting Latios and Entei and Raikou and Arcanine Salazzle. Okay, that's actually fine. No legendaries, thank you. Though I don't like the Intimidate. I also don't like the fact that there's 2 Pokemon that could potentially Will-O-Wisp anything I have on the field. I think I'll King Shield, though it doesn't really protect against Will-O-Wisp. Salazzle is kind of frail. You know what? I'm going to switch into Tapu. I'm just going to Sword Stance. I'm going to Greed. I think I might already be faster than the opponent, so I don't think Unburden, which doesn't take effect on next turn anyway, really matters. Okay, yeah, whatever. Everything just wants to fake out the flying type. To be fair, there used to be a ghost type on the field, and you can't really do much with that. Okay, well, now I can just Psychic and not fear anything. In fact, I think I'll get rid of you first, because you can poison something me. And I'm just gonna Rock Slide. Of course, Salazzle misses. It does nothing to Arcanine, really. Uh-oh. Okay, well, I got to do like 0 damage. That's great. Arcanine does flinch, though. I think I'll go to Circuitry. I'm just gonna Volt Switch. I really want to Discharge, but at the same time, I don't want to knock out my own Pokemon. Dazzling Gleam doesn't do anything to the fire types. But Volt Switch actually does some decent damage. I think I want to get rid of this Arcanine more than anything else. I'm going to Sword Dance, since I didn't get to earlier. Fire Blast. Okay. I survive. Sun is out, not that that really matters too much, although I'm going to switch into a Steel type, so that's... I'll take that. Thanks. But yeah, switching into a Steel type when there's fire types on the field, not exactly good. But I am +2. I am double speed. Actually, no, I'm +1 because of Intimidate. Talonflame. I have Rock Slide. You're still gonna outspeed me if you somehow have Gale Wings. I think I'll just King Shield. Rock Slide. And hope for the best. Please don't have priority. Oh, of course you do. What is my luck in this game? Fire Blast into the Protect. Well, I have a circuitry. Can't really discharge right now because I just went for King Shield. I'm going to end up knocking out my own Pokemon if I do that. Then again... Circuitry is faster than Edgelord. So I'll also be in defense position when I go for discharge. Then just Shadow Claw whatever remains. Hope Flame Body doesn't kill me. Discharge. Okay, I just died to Fire Blast. That's great. Crit, thank you, game. I appreciate that. Okay, you're more greedy than I am. That's saying something. Yeah, I don't knock out Salazzle, so I just die here. Marowak is your last. I'll speed everything except Salazzle. Shame. Probably should have Thunderwaved somewhere in there. Okay. A little bit BM, not necessary. Why are you landing every single Fire Blast ever? Like, actually. So... I didn't quite make it all the way to blue the second time around. To be fair, I got kind of cock-blocked by two of his friends. The thing is, I really don't mind trying to go for this whole thing and trying to go for all the Ultra Beasts, but when luck has to be involved, listen, the game is not polite to me. I don't mind putting a whole bunch of time into this, but I mean, I started this video 3 days ago. I still haven't finished it. I still want to render. I still want to upload. I could keep going and trying to go for all the high level achievements, but that's a lot of time to put into this. I'm thinking I'm just gonna probably like live stream this game. I do want to live stream Pokemon Coliseum. I also want to live stream this game. See how far I can actually get in this. To be fair, I'm using my in-game team, sort of. And a random legendary that I caught and gave 10 Carbos and 10 Calcium to, and so now I think it has some viability to it. Circuitry doesn't have anything. So like, I don't find too much fault in the fact that I keep losing repeatedly in this thing, but I also would like to sit down and actually take the time to put some effort into some Pokemon. Actually see how far I can go in this thing. But that is all that I have time for today. And I think that's pretty much everything that there really is to do in this game. Again, there's other legendaries I can be capturing. There's a couple more Ultra Beasts. There's a lot of battles. Quite difficult battles that you can be doing in this as well. There's also the battle analyst. No, that's not what it's called. Battle agency. That's what it's called. Oh my lord. Okay. There's that thing as well. It's basically like a battle factory from the older gens where you get to use rental Pokemon. But you're also only limited to 3 Pokemon. And there's all sorts of other weird extra mechanics to go with it too. Not really anything super complex or complicated. It's just... even the smallest change to something that was already pretty decent. Actually was one of my favorite battle facilities in Pokemon Emerald. I got like a 200 plus on my first ever attempt on it. So... it is something I really enjoy, but even the slightest change to it just makes it, you know, less fun to me. So I haven't really had any interest in trying that. But I have had a lot of interest in trying to actually, you know, make viable doubles teams. It's a lot of fun trying to go for those. But as I say, that is all that I have time for this. And this is probably the last video I'm going to be doing for Pokemon Ultra Sun. Again, I'll try to do like live streams or something for it. But I do have another series in the works. Stay tuned for that. Hit subscribe, get notified. And if you guys enjoyed Pokemon Ultra Sun as much as I have, don't get me wrong, I shit on this game frequently, incessantly, never ending. The game kind of deserves it, to be fair. But it actually has been a lot of fun. Story a little cheesier than most of the other storylines for Pokemon games, but I still enjoyed it. I enjoy the mechanics for the game. I actually enjoy Z moves. I think I'm in the absolute minority there. People don't like Z moves. I don't mind them. I think the status Z moves are a lot cooler, but you're okay. I'm not a huge fan of Mega Evolutions in general, but you know, every time I come across one, it's a little bit of a difficult challenge that's kind of fun to overcome. Don't care for them myself, but still kind of okay. And you don't have to worry about OP mechanics like Dynamax or Terrestrialization, so it's, you know, kind of a nice, healthy-ish mix. I'm not having to actually worry about any meta right now because I'm only playing single player, so there's that. Incineroar doesn't have Intimidate yet. It's a very healthy meta. Anywho, I can ramble on forever about Pokemon. One of my favorite franchises. I had a lot of fun with this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching. And stay tuned for couple live streams coming up soon. Stay tuned for Monday and Tuesday. I have the days off. I do want to stream some games. And stay tuned for the next series coming up. But until then, take care. And thanks for watching.